Hello and welcome to One Man's Collection. Today I'm looking at issue number 55 of the Formula One car collection. This is the Ferrari 246 F1 Mike Hawthorn driven Formula One car from 1958. We do have a 143 scale car. I've got a few of these older 50s cars and they look pretty cool. So we'll take a closer look at that at the end, get it up close, also put it on a turntable. But I am going to go through this issue to show what came in this particular issue of the Formula One car collection magazine. So the season is 1958. Technical focus on the 246. Team obviously is Ferrari. Had quite a few Ferraris, so there's probably not going to be too much more new information, but we'll have a look. The circuit in this particular issue is the Reims Dukes? How do you pronounce that? I have no idea. I'm not good at French. The first French Grand Prix, the World Championship status is staged here in 1950. 10 further F1 races follow. Okay. And the story so far is 2004 we're up to. So Schumacher is unstoppable. Yeah, he was. 13 wins out of 18 races. Wow. That was a dominating driver and car. All right. Looking at this part of the magazine, 1958, the season against the odds, when one Manuel Fangio retired from racing, all the signs pointed to Stirling Moss taking the throne, left vacant by the Argentinian ace. Ferrari and Mike Hawthorn had other ideas and snatched the crown from the hot favourite. Mike Hawthorn was world champion, was he? Okay, not a name I'm actually overly familiar with. Okay, it was a long time before I was born, but, you know, even my father was a child back those days. All right, Ferrari eclipsed by Van Walls at Monza. The Van Wall had Stirling Moss and Tony Brooks. I mean, I knew Stirling Moss. Even Phil Hill was driving then. Who else is names that I recognise? Like Graham Hill? Phil Hill and Graham Hill. Okay. Carroll Shelby was even driving a Maserati back those days. Jack Brabham, yep, Aussie guy, in the Cooper Climax. Very good. Mike Hawthorn sported a dark green helmet with a white visor in the nod to British racing green, which was the international motor racing colour of Britain. Yeah, look at that. It's just like a half a helmet. The old days. I mean, before that, or some of them maybe even used leather. It's like, wow. Cruel fate of a gentleman's driver. I'm still young, and there'll be opportunities. These were the words of Peter Collins describing his gentlemanly gesture to the Italian Grand Prix in 1956 when he handed over the wheel of his Ferrari to team leader one Manuel Fangio, allowing the Argentinian to win the world title at his own expense. However, cruel fate lay in wait for the British ace as he was killed during the 1958 German Grand Prix. Wow. At that point, Collins was in contention to win the championship, having won his home Grand Prix at Silverstone. Wow. They were pretty dangerous cars back then. Nice thick glossy magazine, this one. The season, so we're still on 58. Fangio leaves the stage. Yep. Not going to read everything. You can pause the video and take a look. All right, technical focus on the 246 F1. We do have a X-ray drawing. Front longitudinal Ferrari 6-cylinder V65 2.417, so just over 2.4 litres, 8,500 RPM with 280 brake horsepower. And they're running on drum brakes. Well, that's what they did then. Yeah, amazing. But they lost so many people, though, because these cars were not the greatest safety thing. Ferrari's formative years. So this is the team. In 1947, the days before the World Championship existed, Enzo Ferrari became a racing car manufacturer, and so began what became the world's most legendary car brand, thanks in no small part to countless victories by a series of great drivers. Yeah. I'm not actually going to go through all those. Just going to keep moving, make it nice and short. The circuit, I still don't know how to pronounce it. Reims Guix. No. Go. Reims Go. Yeah, I don't know. Amid the Champagne Vineyards. The first French Grand Prix, the World Championship status, took place in 1950 on a fast-paced course in Reims, which had already been the stage of the French Grand Prix races in 38, 39 and 48. The track laid out in the street circuit, for the most part, had been created in the intersection between two roads connecting the villages of Thilo and have that name again, Goux, Go. I have no idea. Someone can write it in the comments. I have no idea how to pronounce that. Passing through the heart of the historical Champagne region. There you go. All right, story so far, Michael Schumacher. This is the 2004 season. A fifth consecutive title for the German ace meant he beat Fangio's last remaining record. His Ferrari was supreme and dominated the campaign, winning 13 of the 18 races in the World Championship calendar. Yeah, it's been, I think from the 2000s onward, it's just basically one team at a time winning, mostly. Except that time around the 2007 and 8, it swapped back and forth. But Ferrari definitely dominated these years. And look at Rubens Barrichello in the other car, 114 points in second, well ahead of Jenson Button on 85, Fernando Alonso on 59. So the Ferraris, it was either one or two. And Schumacher was the triumphant driver out of the two. 262 points with BAR Honda on 119. So they more than doubled second place. Yeah. All right, coming up in part 56, we get the Dennis Holm Brabham. And in 57, we get the Riccardo Patrese Arrow A1 from 1979. And also the 1967 Brabham. Yeah, cool. All right, have a look at this car in more detail. There's not a lot to it, to be honest. Nice wooden steering wheel. Gauges are in there. You've got some sort of ventilation at the back there. Actually, the suspension's that's not too bad, to be honest. It is actually, well, there's no actual suspension. No, solid. Ferrari 246 F1. Yeah. Got that glass part over the trumpets there on the carburetor intakes, isn't it? It does have a gap at the back there. And a tiny, tiny little window, which is probably a bit dusty now. It's been sitting on my shelf. So what are we running? We're running, what tyres are we running? Eagle Rest? Yeah. On knock-on spoked wheels. Wow, them were the days, hey? Ferrari badges on the front. Not a lot to it. Exhaust pipes run up and over. Man, you wouldn't want to get out and put your legs on those. Or to lean over and burn yourself. I wonder how often that happened. I'm sure they're probably wrapped in something. But for weight-wise, they probably keep it down. I'm going to put that on the turntable. Thank you very much for watching. I'll be back with number 56 next week. Like, comment, subscribe, all the rest. Thanks for watching. Cheers. Bye.